What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? We are live on YouTube. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. First time doing this. What's going on? What's going on? I think there may be a delay. We are live on YouTube. All right, let's see here. Okay, okay, okay. All right, let's see. Okay, all right. Let's get the ball rolling. Okay, if you can hear me, say yes. Testing one, two, three. Testing one, two, three. First time trying this, first time testing this out. Let's see how this work. Okay. So what I would like to do is I'm gonna be talking about if you have a small business, if you're a business owner and you're thinking about hiring or you're thinking about growing your business and you're struggling to find the right talent, I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. I'm going to talk about what's possible, what can you actually do to make it work. I'm going to give you a couple examples. If you like this type, this is my first time testing this out going live on YouTube. And it's not the last time. So trying to figure out the kinks, make sure that this thing is working properly. So my whole thing here is being able to share what can you do when you're growing your business and you're trying to figure out what's working, what's not working. And maybe you have enough clients coming in and you're struggling with fulfillment, right? Balls are being dropped in the operation side because you're chasing and going and getting clients, but you're also the one doing the fulfillment of the clients. And you're the one that's the admin, that's customer support. You're the one sending the invoice to your finance. So you literally wear all the hats in the business. And when that happens, it becomes super challenging to actually get anything done because, 1 hour you're over here, another hour you're checking email, another hour you're doing this, another hour you're doing that. It becomes a lot and you get burned out super quickly, right? Because it's a lot for you to handle and your business stop being stuck and you're not really growing the way you should. And you're like, okay, what's going on here? Why do I feel stuck? Why am I only making, $50,000 a year or $100,000 a year, right? And trying to figure out what do I do from there. So this is where I think you should start thinking about, laying out exactly what do you do best? What do you potentially need help with? And who can actually help you, right? What are some of the skill set that the person needs to have for this to make any sense for them to work with you, right? And once you kind of do this exercise, I want you to go a bit deeper and start categorizing some of the things that you're doing. Let's say you spend the day shooting content, answering emails, getting on a couple sales calls, posting on social, and follow up with current clients, working on deliverable for clients, right? So let's say you were doing all that throughout the day. So your day normally start, I don't know, 7 a.m. and then you're done by like 6 p.m. I want you to document that day, meaning everything that you've done, write it out. Okay, I did admin for this amount of time. I did this for this amount of time. By doing that, it will help create awareness. And once you have awareness of what your days look like, and I would recommend you do that for at least 2 weeks because we entrepreneurs, right? Our days varies. It varies. And that pool of data is going to allow you to see what's going on daily in your business. If you have a schedule, definitely use that. There's also a different productivity hack, productivity tool that you can use. And the whole purpose of this is once you lay that out, you kind of see, okay, what does my day entail? What are some of the stuff that I do for the day? What are the stuff that are bringing in revenue for the day? What are the stuff that are not bringing in revenue? What are the stuff that taking a lot of my time? Then you could start thinking, what can I actually delegate? And then there's a tool that we use. I can put it in the link in the bottom. It's kind of like it's our mapping system, right? Allow you to map out exactly uh, the different division in your business and what's needed and what can be done for each of those division, right? And then that also allows you to start identifying, you know, what kind of help do I need for my business, right? Like, where do I need more help, right? Is it maybe marketing? Because I hate doing marketing. I love doing content, but I don't have the time to schedule them out and put out those posts and coming up with positioning and copy, etc. Maybe that's what you need help with. Or maybe it's paid ads, right? You don't understand paid ads. Facebook, YouTube algorithm is kind of rude to you. It doesn't make any sense. What's going on there, right? Maybe that's what you need help with. Or it's systems and automation, right? Like you have a platform like GoHighLevel, and if you don't, grab the link below, right? And you have all these automation things that you heard from going to some workshop or conference. You got excited, you bought that platform, but now you have no idea what you're doing. You trying to create a landing page or some funnel in there. You try to create some workflow, but it's not working out. You're wasting a lot of time trying things that's not actually working. And that's taking a lot of your time from really delivering what you can, right? Really, your zone of genius is being wasted. That's the way I look at it, right? Or it may be, finance, bookkeeping, taxes. You're trying to figure out what does that look like. You're trying to reconcile your books or filing out your own taxes using platform like TurboTax, but you have no idea what you're doing, right? And that also restrain you from growing because you might be excellent in sales and you have an amazing product, but you spend 90% of your time doing things that is not going to generate new revenue for the business. So it doesn't make sense anymore. So once you lay that out, like I'm talking about, and you really start mapping things out, you spend that time thinking about it, writing it down, and really see it clearly, then you know, okay, this is where I need help with, right? I need help with my bookkeeping. I need help with my paid ads. I need help with my systems. I need help with my social media, right? You start identifying those opportunities in your business. And then now you start thinking, okay, it's not how, it's who, right? Who can I bring in that can help me? And a big pushback, especially small businesses doing like between 100K to 250K a year that we get is, I don't have money. I'm not making enough to bring in somebody here in the States full time to kind of help me with this. And that's okay, right? You're not at that stage yet. However, you can still bring some talent in. The talent doesn't necessarily have to be in the States for this to work, right? So you can look at remote staffing, which is what we do at Task Maven, right? Task Maven services. You can leverage those remote talent. These are people that are overseas that have the same amount of experience and sometimes more than some people here in the States. They are amazing at what they do. They have the talent, they have the experience, they've worked with a lot of different companies. The only variable is the currency differences because they live in a different country. That's it. So if you get to that position where you realize, okay, I need to create, maybe a job description based on the talent pool that I am looking for, right? You can hire somebody like that that can help you with the day-to-day, that can help you with the marketing, that can help you with social media, that can help you with systems. We do that all the time for our clients, right? Where we're able to help them identify the right piece of talent that can come in that can maybe handle content, maybe handle biz dev, or maybe handle systems and setting up those automation for them so that their business is becoming less of a restraint and more create that freedom that they're looking for. So I really want you to think about once you lay that thing out and you pick out, okay, I want help with social media, I want help with bookkeeping, or I want help with system manager. Create a job description around that and be open because the world is a massive space, right? There's billions and billions of people around the world, and there's a lot of amazing talent that's here in the States and out of state, right? So you want to identify what kind of skill set do I want that person to have. Let's say they're a system manager, right? You want them to know how to use GoHighLevel, which is the tool that we recommend. Um, they know how to set up automations. They need to have at least 2, 3 years of experience. You write that down. You can use AI to help you write out that job description. And once you have that, then the next step is really that's when the recruiting start. That's when you start identifying, you know, how do I find these people? That's when you start sourcing for talent, right? One thing is you have a couple ways to do that, right? One way you can hire a team like ours, will handle that for you, which saves you a lot of time and help you get the right talent quicker, faster, within, was it 5 to 7 business days? So you can go that route. Another route, if you're like, you want to be a do-it-yourselfer, right? There's different Facebook groups where you find what we call a virtual assistant or remote talent that you can go to and be able to find the key people that you want to do business with, right? So that's one. There's another one, online jobs.ph. That's the one that's super popular. A lot of people knows about. It's a database of professionals in the Philippines. You can use that, right? Once you post a job in there, you get 50, 60, 100 different resumes and people that are interested. So that's where having someone like us is helpful because we have teams that can go through those lists and vet them and filter them and give you 2 to 3 qualified candidates, right? So now that saves you time, right? But if you don't want to do that and you rather do it yourself, then you go through these resumes, you go through these applications, you reach out to each person, you do the interviews. Once you do the interviews, you do a follow-up interview, right? First interview I recommend is normally to see, do they have the right tools? Do they speak really good English? Do they meet some of the basic criteria, such as laptop, internet, English speaking, experience that they share with you? That's the first interview. The second interview to me is more situational. This is more of the critical thinking side. This is where you see, okay, how well do they think on their feet? Are they able to bring suggestions? Or they're more just process oriented? You give them a test, that's all they do, right? Once you figure that part out and you go through that process with them, you can even give them assessment. Then I would say you decide, okay, out of those 50, I like those five. Out of those five, I like those two. I like those two. And then you maybe do a final interview with those two, or choose the one that you like the most and that person start working for you, right? Now, the interview process is not done, in my opinion. You have that first 7 to 30 day trial. That is super important. It is critical for any businesses because that will give you an idea on, what kind of person they are, how do they react to certain things, how do they handle different challenges? Do they actually think on their feet, or they're just waiting around for you to tell them everything, right? So that's where you want to set the right expectation so they know exactly what they're walking into, how you like to be walked with, you guys negotiate rates, etc. And then second, this is where you guys get a chance to work together, right? Make sure you have the SOPs set up. If not, maybe they can help you create those SOPs by recording what they're doing and then upload them into a Google folder so you have that information stored for future talent to use, right? And then they're able to work with you. You know, within that 7 to 30 days, you're gonna be able to see different facet on how they work, or they're consistent, do they meet deadlines, or they're considerate, or they're thoughtful. You know, what happened when a situation happened, right? Do you ask them questions and say, hey, you know, they'll come to you with a question. You're like, okay, how would you handle it? Right? Just so you can see how well they think about it instead of you giving them the answer, right? So this is where a lot of entrepreneurs kind of fell through because they hire the person and they expect the person to know everything about their business. No, it doesn't work like that. They have to go through a process of training and onboarding where they get to know your company. And I think that trial 7 to 30 days is really that, you know, where you can see a difference. This is where, you know, the rubbers meet the road, where there's a real conversation, a real opportunity where things can change and things can absolutely happen for the business, right? So once you go through that process, that 30-day process, and you like the person, they're like you guys are vibing, you guys are working well together, you know, things are going the way you want them to go, then, you know, you have a conversation at the end of the 30 days, let them know, hey, you want to continue working with them, right? And you want to start thinking on their growth because now they're part of your team. What does that growth looks like for them, right? How do you structure growth where now, you know, they know if they meet certain KPI or key performance indicators, certain metrics that you have in place, X gonna happen or Y gonna happen or Z gonna happen, right? Creating that career growth projection for them so they can stay with you long term. They know there's a future working for you. That to me is critical because a lot of people don't think about that, but to me it's the most powerful thing because guess what? If the person don't know where they're going, there's no clarity on how they're gonna be able to grow their business, you know, themselves, their career, what's there for them to work with you, then somebody else gonna scoop them up and they're gonna leave. And now you're gonna go back to zero. Right? Which take me to my next point is to make sure that you never go back to zero, always keep recruiting. Either you have a team like ours that can bring in the talent as you grow, or you consistently recruit new talent. You don't have to hire them. Right? There's a big difference between hiring and recruiting, right? So you can recruit, you can interview, you can build a database of key talent that you like, because when something happened which you don't have any control over, let's say, you know, the person you hired had to leave, maybe they got pregnant or it's a family issue, you know, whatever. Um, Guess what? You're back at zero. But if you already had a pipeline of candidates, or you had a team like ours who has 2,000 plus candidates in our pipeline, that's an easy conversation. You know, you can easily pick up the phone, send an email, look through your database, see who's in there, and say, hey, let me reach out to this guy. I like that guy. I had a conversation with them. Let me see if they're open for an opportunity to work with us. Right. And that's how you're going to get new people in the door. That's how you're going to keep the current talent that you have. That's a really good way to build brand loyalty internally, where now people that are excited to work with you, not just want to work with you, but they know they have a future working with you. And guess what? They start pulling stuff out your business that they will take ownership of so that you can focus on the one thing that you're really good at. And that could be sales or marketing or product. Right. So once that is going, now it's time to start going deeper because once you have that one person going and things are going well, you may want to bring a second person to help in the other part. And then you want to bring a third person to help on this part. You want to bring a fourth person to help on this part. All of a sudden, you have literally, you know, 5, 10, 20 team members that are helping in different part of the business. You know, you're able to leverage AI because there's some of them that has skill set with AI that can set up all those infrastructure for you. So that could be your AI guy, right? you're able to really focus on growth. And then you're able to generate enough capital and salary where maybe you want to bring in somebody that's part of your internal leadership team here in the state, right? So this thing can grow as big as you want it to grow. So hopefully, I'm hoping you got some value out of this. If this is helpful, if you want to see more live like these where I kind of just share my thoughts on how you grow and how you build something that is valuable, right? How to build your team, how to scale your business from 0 to 10, right? How to build a team from 0 to 10 team members. Let me know. Comment on the chat or comment below or like it. We have tons of ways that we want to literally, I want to communicate with you. You know, let me know how we can be a resource. Let me know how we can help. And thank you for watching. Either while I'm doing the live or maybe 3 months from now. Thank you. Really appreciate you for taking time out of your day. Hopefully, this is valuable. If you need our help, let us know. If not, take the information that I shared and go and execute, right? That's all I'm asking. That, you don't hoard information, that you actually execute so that you create value for yourself. Like the channel, comment, share. Thanks again. Appreciate you. Have an amazing time, day, right? Cheers.